Dustin Poirier was back on the Deep Waters podcast reacting to Conor McGregor's injury at UFC 329 and had some interesting comments here. I'm going to play the clip of Poirier reacting to everything, and then I'm going to give my thoughts after this. I thought this was some very choice words here by Poirier talking about what happened to Conor McGregor. So we'll go watch the clip here. It's about a minute or so long. This is Dustin Poirier on Conor McGregor suffering the injury.
I thought it couldn't happen to a better guy. You know, that injury couldn't happen to a better guy.
Well,
I saw earlier this week, he said karma's a mirror, and it definitely is, man. This guy's a dirtbag, and I don't know if it was nervous energy. I don't know why you would start a fight like that. They're saying this was planned to start the fight like that. There's footage of him like training to open the fight with this jump kick, but I just don't understand why you would do that. That's like a Hail Mary. You're throwing a Hail Mary to start the fight, start a 25-minute fight. I don't understand what was going on with that. I tell you what, whenever he is healed up, hit me up, Conor. I'll come back and whip you again.
Oh, can we get a fourth fight?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's something you'd come back for? Would you come back for another fight with Conor?
I would come back to whip him again. I'd come back to whip him again. I had 170. I had 170.
There's no way he would want that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so either.
Yeah.
If I could say anything to him,
if I'm
he knows. He knows it.
Hell no to you. Yes to Chandler. Yes to Diaz. On my return.
Chandler's somewhere punching air still right now, crying. He has one left.
What do you think? You versus Conor in a slap fighting match? Power slap.
Power slap?
I play real sports, man. I play real sports.
Come on. Wouldn't you love to slap him though? That'll be amazing.
All right, so there you have it. A lot to sort of unpack here. I think first and foremost, it looks like Poirier did not lose his gig with Paramount. He's back on here. Of course, it's been well documented what happened to Poirier at the airport back on Father's Day and that whole issue. I just don't think this is in good taste. And look, I get it. There's going to be people watching this. There's a lot of backlash for anyone even covering Conor McGregor. I've seen it this whole week, and I think that's completely fair. If you look at what Conor McGregor's done outside the cage and what has sort of happened, throughout his time off, I think he deserves to be criticized for this. My thing is, you just got in trouble a couple weeks ago for this whole issue. And Poirier's talking about, forgiveness and, trying to be a better person. And I just think this comes across as really bad. And it's kind of like kicking someone when they're down. And Poirier, people were doing that to Poirier. And it seemed like people were, upset with that. But it's like, and I get that Poirier and McGregor are different people. I just think that Poirier is kind of doing this whole thing like nothing happened, a month ago. And I'm not saying the two things are connected. And obviously what McGregor's done is far worse than what he's been alleged has been far worse than anything that Poirier's done. I get that. I just don't get what Poirier is doing. So a bunch of things to unpack here. So he's talking about it being karma and all that stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think McGregor said anything about Poirier, his arrest and everything like that. I don't think he said anything mean or kicked him while he was down or anything like that. To my knowledge, I don't remember that. If anything, I think he said he was kind of saying I hope he gets help or whatever. I don't know. I didn't see anything from McGregor. If this was a couple years ago, the old McGregor, the one that was obviously, taking some substances, we would have saw something saying knew this was going to happen, kind of kicking him down like what Colby did, right? Colby had his tweet when Poirier got arrested. I don't think McGregor's done that. So I don't know why Poirier is so upset. I understand there's some history between the two, and there was certainly some words said, when they fought. They've obviously fought 3 times, with McGregor obviously winning the first fight, Poirier winning the next 2. There's a little bit of bad blood there. But I don't know, Poirier is kind of treating this as though McGregor has treated him the same way that Colby did. Am I wrong about this? I thought this was a little bit surprising coming from Poirier. Look, if he wants to say that McGregor's a scumbag or whatever, which he kind of does in this clip, because of the stuff outside the cage, that's fine. But it almost comes across as McGregor did something really bad to him, and I just don't remember that. And again, if McGregor had come out after Poirier's arrest and said something couldn't have happened to a better person, or mocking him, like I said, like Colby did, then I'd have a little bit more of an understanding. But it's you just got arrested a couple weeks ago. You shouldn't really be kicking someone when they're down. So there's that part of it. So I was a little bit surprised to see Poirier do this. Again, people have every right to criticize McGregor. I just think that of all people, Poirier, aren't you trying to get someone back on? Aren't you trying to get everyone on your side at this point from what happened a couple weeks ago? So there's that part of it. Second part of it, and we should mention too, this is obviously a biased panel. Dean Thomas used to train at ATT. Masvidal trains at ATT. They're all buddies. Weidman, no connection there, but they're obviously going to be pro Poirier, anything that's said here. So we should point that out too. But also, like, Masvidal and Dean Thomas talking about Poirier coming back. You don't have good friends around you. That's a terrible idea. First off, that's not going to happen, as they sort of stated. I mean, obviously McGregor's not going to fight Poirier again. But why are we encouraging Poirier to fight again? That's another thing I think that's kind of been lost in this clip. They're just like, oh, would you come back? Of course he's going to say he's going to come back. It would be a big payday. But the fight's never going to happen. And B, wasn't Poirier talking about how he needs to find things outside of MMA to keep him going beyond retirement? Like, the answer is not him coming back. I actually think this is a really bad look here for Dean Thomas and Masvidal, kind of encouraging Poirier to come back and take another fight. Like, I don't think that's the solution. The solution is Poirier finding a life after fighting. Right? Like, what? We're going to go take more brain damage because you have a problem with alcohol? Like, that's not to me, a good solution here. So I think that was bad. And then Weidman adding absolutely nothing at the end, going, would you take a power slap match against him? Like, that's not even funny. And second off, that adds absolutely nothing to the broadcast. So yeah, I just think this whole clip's a disaster. I think Poirier, again, if Poirier wanted to just leave it as, karma's a bitch or whatever, and alluding to McGregor's behavior outside the cage, then that's fine. But I just think he overdid it here. And I just think Poirier's not really in a position right now to be criticizing anyone, considering that he threatened a police officer at the airport. And I still see people defending Poirier about this, being like, what's the big deal? Hasn't people had a couple drinks before? Well, first off, people have had drinks at the airport, but most people aren't professional fighters and could actually kill someone. And I know people, don't think of it that way, but it's true. Like, you are a trained fighter, you could seriously hurt someone. So that's the first thing. And second thing is, you represent the UFC still because you work for Paramount and you're still an employee and you're a retired fighter that was part of the UFC. So it's a bad look. You can't be a McDonald's employee and go beat someone up and think that's not going to come back and reflect on McDonald's. It's the same sort of thing here. So there's a lot of layers to kind of unpack. I just think Poirier is coming across as, really unlikable in this clip, personally. And I think there's, again, if people want to criticize McGregor and say karma for all the things he's done outside the cage, don't have an issue with that. But Poirier almost comes across like something personal between him and McGregor happened. And again, let me know in the comments. Maybe I missed something over the years, but I don't remember McGregor saying anything really that bad to Poirier that warrants this response here. So yeah, that's just kind of my take on everything here. Bad look here from Poirier. And you see in the comments here on Reddit, you've got some mixed reviews here. It said later when he asked about the fight, he says it's going to be bad. I mean, no shit. Obviously, Poirier would destroy Conor at this stage in his career. Poirier, even before leaving, was competing at a high level. I thought he didn't want any bad energy anymore. I mean, I agree with that. Like, again, he could have said karma's a bitch and then moved on and being like, we'll see if he comes back or whatever. But Poirier just, again, he is kicking him while he's down. And Conor could have easily done that with the whole situation with Poirier. It's an easy few millions for him. I mean, I don't even think people want to see that fight with another, because again, Poirier's beat him twice. I guess the last fight was a bit more of an injury, but I don't think people really want to see that. Let's see. Yet they're still begging for a with him. Pretty sad. I mean, that's how I feel too. On the one hand, Dustin should block out negative noise. On the other hand, a guy with a Conor's rap sheet jumping on DP's one bad incident to talk about karma. Well, it's okay. So let me just look this up. Did Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier arrest? Did he say something bad here? Conor McGregor reacts to Dustin Poirier's arrest. Take accountability. Okay, so maybe he wasn't really encouraging. Okay, I'll walk that back a little bit. Let's see. Where's the actual quote? He says, take accountability. It's not good to see. If I was to say something to him, I would say, take this with absolute seriousness. Do not engage with people. Oh, there's people. It was funny. I like him more. You start laughing about it. Maybe it wasn't so bad. Maybe keep going. Then the next one's worse. He's actually giving him advice here. Actually, the quote makes it sound way worse. But the actual quote sounds like he's trying to help him. So that's his response. And then Poirier is, responding this way. Like, again, I just think this is in bad taste. And I was someone in the, the videos leading up to, we're talking about Poirier's arrest and everything. I thought, like, people crapping on Poirier, I think that's silly. Poirier doesn't have a habit of doing this. But when Poirier does stuff like this, I have little sympathy for him when, again, he's essentially kicking Conor while he's down, when Conor could have done the same thing. I mean, this is very tame what Conor's saying here compared to what Poirier is saying to him here. So I don't know. I just think it's like Poirier needs to get some good grace back. And I feel like talking like this about McGregor, and again, McGregor deserves to be criticized, I just think isn't a good look here. So this dude is just begging everyone for a fight. So you're seeing mixed reactions here from the fans. Tom Taunting an injury never looks good, especially for someone who's been crying about being in the headlines for the wrong reasons recently. I agree. So you're seeing here mixed reviews here, and I think people tend to kind of agree with what I'm saying here. Is I just don't think this was necessary from Poirier. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on Poirier here. I just think he needs to build up some goodwill here. And again, Conor's kind of an easy target right now, and I just think that like Poirier didn't need to go to this extent. That's all I'm saying. Again, McGregor deserves to be criticized, but I just think Poirier, of all people, like, you got to get some good grace back. Let me know what you think. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.